Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're not really going to be talking about tarot at all. We're actually going to be checking out this newest deck that I have purchased and added to my collection, Mildred Payne's Oracle of Black Enchantment Midnight Edition by Deviant Moon Incorporated. Yes, this is the same Deviant Moon that makes the fabulous Deviant Moon Tarot, the Trionfi della Luna Tarot, and all the other decks that we know and we love. But they also have this extra thing, and they make oracle cards as well. And their illustrations on their oracle cards are always so interesting and so insightful. They might not necessarily be as insightful and share the messages that tarot do, but that's why you add the oracle cards to the tarot cards to share extra insight and wisdom that you might not have gotten otherwise. I've mentioned before my absolute love for Deviant Moon and the Deviant Moon universe, and the extra things that they do with their decks. Like when you purchase something, they always seem to go the extra mile. Now, a few cards here and there, like extra cards, might not be that big of a deal, but you think about it, it's the thought that counts. And with this deck right here, I received Justice from an original Marseille deck, and the Eight of Coins from the newest Illustrated Pips edition of the Trionfi della Luna. So that's just an extra little thing that Deviant Moon does that you're not going to expect from like big corporation businesses like Amazon or Walmart or those kind of things. And this deck, they actually have this thing that they do, and I really love this because I know other places would not do this. I have actually a few decks, one in particular, we're not going to go into it though, that the cards were a little bit damaged, but I still paid full price for it. This deck, on the other hand, they had it on sale, $20 off the original price, all because of a crease right here in the box. Now, I don't even know if you can catch that on video. I'm trying to see, but the little damage on the box does nothing to damage the cards. The cards inside are absolutely perfect. I've already opened it and taken the plastic out the front, but I have not taken the cards themselves out of the plastic. So we will do that now. You can see there's a little spot right here on the box as well that shows a little bit of damage, but it's not the box that matters. It's the cards inside that share the message. So we have the cards right here. We'll get them out of the plastic and we'll go through each of them individually so you can see what the cards look like as well. And as always, I'll put the link down in the description on how you can purchase this deck for yourself. And they even have a few left that are the damaged boxes, such as this one right here, and you can get a little discount on it. As you can see, we have the cards right here, and there's nothing wrong with the cards themselves. They're Midnight Edition, so they are all blue with the illustrations. You can see here we have the title card, and it has exactly where you can find the guidebook to read it if you need that. The interesting thing about oracle cards is you can always add your own meanings and interpretations to them as well. So put that card aside, and it's got a little, I'll read the back here for you too. Reach deep into my blood, red petals, and retrieve my most peaceful creation, or powerful creation. Sorry about that. A little bit of cursive and slightly dark in my room. It made it a little bit hard or more difficult to read it, but there we go. And you can see down here the Oracle of Black Enchantment, and it has Mildred Payne's little autograph right there, or her signature. And that's the deck who created this deck, or so the story goes, from Fedwin Asylum, and she's the Red Witch that lived there in about the 1930s. And this is an illustration of her, it seems. You know, dark, creepy, kind of sadistic looking. A little bit scary. And I guess that's 4 of them, you know, all together in a picture. And all these have the blue tint, like I said. So like the original, and they have a red version of it as well, would show these cards in red, or just the original that kind of looks like the Trionfi della Luna we saw with the coloring of that card right there. But that's not what we're looking at today. We have the blue version, because that's the ones that I liked. And here is card 1. And you can see the characters over here. There's characters coming out of the mouth. This guy seems to be in control though, and he's like got his own chariot, and he's finding his way out of that mouth of the beast. And then interesting, I think these I don't have room to like do this all together, but like these cards seem to be almost against them, like fighting them with number 2. And they're like running towards them while they're running towards them. And then we have the 3. And she's over there cutting her flowers, which her flowers look rather devious and demonic too. And a 4, 5, 6, 7 must be all about dreaming and the things you can do in your dreams. My most recent dream, I actually flew, and I love when I have dreams like that. There's the 8 and the 9, the 10, 11, and 12. It's really nice about decks like this. I have some that don't have any numbers at all, but when it comes to like any kind of card that has a number on it, you can interpret it almost even if you don't have a picture to go with, because the numbers all have meanings as well. Like the cat, black cat in this illustration has the 13, so it relates to death, change and transformation, endings, new beginnings, rebirth, as well as you reduce that 13 to 4 and you have the number of the Emperor, like taking control of your life and feeling in control, accepting yourself the way you are and knowing your own personal power. Then we have 14 and 15, which very much looks like the devil, and as we know, the devil is labeled 15 of the major arcana of the tarot. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, which would relate to judgment of the major arcana, and 21 would be the world. 21 looks a little bit more dark and depressing than the major arcana card of the world, because it definitely seems like he's in a struggle, like fighting against the monsters that want to eat him alive. Maybe that's why he's so sad in 22. Fighting for his life in 23. I'm really loving these illustrations, and I hope you are too, because they definitely connect with the history of humanity. You know, you found your power in the past and you really embraced it. You would be burned at the stake for it. You couldn't have that power. People were afraid of it. And I think that's a large part of why it wasn't socially acceptable in the past. People always have feared the unknown. There we have 24, which will go like that. The 23 and 24, they might have caught her and burned her at the stake, but she used the stake for her own power and she's fighting back. So that's really interesting. And then we have 25. Perhaps she used her power and made all those people into tiny people. 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 definitely seems like they're ascending to a higher plane and everybody's respecting them for it. 30, 31, 32, kind of seems like a message of rest and reflection, you know, avoiding everybody else and taking the time to look within. 33, 34, 35. One of the cards I've gotten in the past from Deviant Moon, like I mentioned with the extra cards, is actually this one right here. So I have seen it before, you know, kind of flying in there and having the angels have your back and stuff like that. My version of this card that I already have is the red version. 36, 37. This card seems to like it's a message that kind of like the magician, you know, you have the cup over here, the sword, the wand in it, and plus, no, I don't, yeah, all 4 elements are there, aren't they? It seems the only thing that's, oh, nope, I found it right there. So we have the pentacle, the wand, the cup, and the sword, and it seems like he's taking his break and really reflecting and resting and paying attention to his dreams to decide what he wants to do with that magic. And we have 38, 39, 40, 41, and that might be my favorite illustration thus far. I love the wisdom in that tree's face and how all the other trees around it kind of celebrate it. Then we have 42, 43, 44, 45, That reminds me of the 20th century, like the turn of the 20th century, when they would all sit around a table and hold hands and do a seance and kind of connect with the other side. Perhaps talk to their loved ones that had passed. 46, 47, 48, 49, going into the darkness. Not sure what's in there, but all eyes are on you, but you can't even see them because you got the blindfold on. 50, 51, 52, and that's it for the actual oracle cards. So this has the same amount of cards as a regular playing deck, it seems. And there's Mildred taking up the end, and it has their name, Mildred Payne, down here, and the year of 1933. You have a large message on the back here, but I'm not going to read that on camera. It's fun, like I said earlier when I read the first one, it's rather dark in my room so I can get the actual lighting I need. You don't see a weird reflection of my fan above it. So we're not going to take the time to read that, but you see the deck. And like I said, I will leave a link down in the description below where you can purchase this deck for yourself. And there's also the red version, as I said. I think it's called the Blood Edition, and then there's the original as well. So if you're a fan of the Deviant Moon universe, you like Patrick Valencia's artwork as much as I do, this might be the deck to add to your collection. It might add more insight and intuition and inspiration that, like with your tarot readings, that you might not have had otherwise. And I turned it over so I could see the back, and you can see my eye right here. So this is how awesome this deck is and how much it connects. And you can see the backs here. They also have that all-seeing eye. So it connects. I love this deck already, and I'm really excited to add it to my tarot readings and stuff. But that is a look at it, so you can see what the cards look like. And as always, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.